Good afternoon, good evening, good night in some places. I just needed to get on today to talk about our children, our young men, and our young women. We like to condemn them for their behavior, and it's always been my belief that our kids act the way they act because of how the adults act. I had a banquet today, so I was dressed up. I had high heel shoes on, and I had to go to the pharmacy. I'm going on a trip to Africa in September, so I had to get some shots. So I'm standing there. I stood in line. I'm tired. My feet hurting. The lady said, well, you have to go to the next window. So I went to the next window. Well, at the next window, there were only 2 seats after I registered that I wanted to sit down. One seat was occupied by, looks like, a grandmother. She probably was in her 60s. She didn't look very old, but I knew she wasn't. I'm 48, so I knew she wasn't really, really close to my age. And in the other seat, a little down from her, were 2 young boys, maybe 7 and 4 or 9 and 4, something young, not a teenager. So I'm standing there waiting for a seat. Now, me as a mother, I raised 6 children, and I never allowed my children to sit down when there was someone older, an adult, needing a seat. I stood there a little while just to wait to see if the older lady, who should be wise and mature and of age and should know etiquette, morals, and responsibility, would tell the young men to get up and allow me as a lady a seat. This overgrown woman never even gestured to the young men to stand up for me to sit down. Then we wonder why our boys don't know how to treat women. I told the lady at the counter, and I said it loud enough because I wanted the other lady to hear me. I say, oh, well, there's no seats here, so I'll just sit on the other end. So just call me whenever I'm ready. The lady didn't budge. The older lady, it didn't impress her at all. I find that interesting. You know, so many times we like to blame the men for how they treat us, but they learn how to treat us by how the parents and grandparents teach them to treat us. We say that chivalry is dead. Well, it's dead because it seems like the women are killing it. You cannot raise your young men. Now, my sons, teenagers, can be buttholes. I know that. And they be buttholes to their parents usually. But when my kids go out into the world, people have nothing but nice things to say about them. They're very mannerable. They're very respectful. They answer yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, when sometimes they don't even do that with me. But I tell them when they leave my home, they're representing me. So I'm proud to say that when they go out, they're representing me and they're doing it well. Thank God for that. I don't take any of the glory for that. That's nothing but God. But if you ever see them out of line, you know that I didn't raise them that way. But for a woman to sit by, older woman, to sit by and allow some young boys to remain in a seat when a woman in heels, not only a woman, but a woman in heels, and you looking at her because you see her kind of wobbling in these heels like she's been in them all day, and you allow them to sit down and not offer her a seat. I can only imagine what type of young men you're raising. Now, the young men were sitting down nice and quiet, but if we want our young men to know how to treat women, if the fathers are not there treating them, and I can tell that the father is not there because a father would have raised the boys at that age to know that you let a lady sit down. That's how I raised my son. How dare you? You will never sit down when there's a lady needing a seat. You can sit on the floor. You're a kid. You're a little boy. They don't mind dirt. You know, so I was just kind of appalled and just irritated to see that. You know, women, we're raising our children, and many times we're raising them alone, and even grandkids are raising the children now. We have to do a better job. We have to do our best. I'm one to tell you, fathers are vital in boys' lives. Fathers are vital in girls' lives. They need their father, but many times the dad is not there. But we need to at least, I don't think we can raise boys to be men, but we can at least raise them to be good human beings. And a good human being, because me as a woman, if it was my daughter sitting down, I would have told her to get up because someone older or a lady needs a seat. My teenage daughter, I wouldn't even allow her at 15 to sit down in a seat when there's an older lady, more mature lady needing a seat. That's just common courtesy. That's just common morals, to be a little more generous to the older generation. And I consider myself as part of that generation. So I know a lot of times on my platform, I like to speak about dads because I believe they're so important in children's lives. But women, we have to be accountable. We have to do some things better. We have to do our best to shape our children so that they can make it in this world. And that would help our communities be better. And we wouldn't so often be fighting the issues that we fight as normalcies in our daily interactions with each other. Y'all have a good day.